Hello, everybody. Tonight we have another through hiker, a little princess here, a princess that falls and almost busts her nose wide open and everything else jumps back up. So tonight we're going to ask the same question, big hard-hitting question. What's your trail name?
Rebel.
And how did you get that name?
I got this name because everybody was coming off the trail because of everything going on with Corona, and they asked me if I was coming off, and I said no, they would literally have to drag me off the trail. No one is going to tell me I can't hike, especially on public land. So someone said, "You're kind of a rebel, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess I am." And it's very fitting. Even my dad agrees that I've always been a rebel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The funny thing I found today is when you said your name, I actually kind of smiled because I have a sister who is so not a rebel, but her name is Rebel.
Awesome.
So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this year is a little bit different than a lot of years. What has coronavirus done to the trail this year that you've noticed?
So I've never hiked the trail before, but I live, the backyard is basically the approach. So I've hiked just day hike and weekend hikes, Bud Mountain, Neal's Gap, all of that, Jared Gap, several times. But I've heard from people who've told me they've hiked the trail and everything, you know, you're never truly alone. So I started this journey and I was like, gonna do it alone, but gonna meet all these people and never gonna be alone really. And I like hiking alone because I'm in my own little world and I'm super happy when I hike. And I don't mind hiking alone, but like getting to camp and meeting other people is kind of, you know,
Kind of what the AT is.
it really is. And so I've heard that's a big part of it, and you kind of meet with groups and they may get ahead and then you jump ahead and you know, but you'll catch up and you always kind of
You always have some kind
you
of
always have
traveling.
somebody. But this year it's not quite that way. So this year you sometimes really are. There's been times where I've hiked and not seen a single person for 6-7 days. And it's lonely. It really is. So because I mean that's the cool thing is like meeting different people, and then when you get to camp, like boosting your mental strength and your morale, and you'd be like, how was your hike? Or you know, man, that climb sucked today, or you know, that kind of thing. And you guys kind of share in the struggle and rejoice in like all your wonderful victories and things. But when you don't have people, it's just like, man. So I ran into somebody that I saw, and I was like, hey, I remember that guy. He was a Silva. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see another person. I haven't seen another hiker. And it's just so great. And you get to a hostel, if they're open, that's another thing. A lot of resupply and hostels and places like that are closed, and it really makes it hard because then you're carrying more weight because you're not sure if you're going to be able to get any resupply in those towns. So I think all that is different.
Trail Magic definitely
Trail
is
Magic,
different.
Trail Angels, shuttles. I mean, it's been a struggle. So I mean, but also, like I am very competitive. So sometimes too much. Sometimes it's a little too much. I have to back it down and be like, don't be so competitive. But I think it's pretty cool. Like this is such a. I mean, it's an accomplishment no matter what year, but this year with all the different things, I'm like,
It's a huge
accomplishment. I mean, it is like
because there ain't that gonna. It's gonna be a very low number that finishes.
and it's like, and those people, like, those are some badass people because not only are you doing this thing, which everybody should, you know, anybody who does this. You know, I mean, I just think they're incredible, strong, mentally, physically. But then on top of that, all the things that this 2020 year has brought, I mean, those are some incredible people. So I hope,
I remember, like, just at the beginning, I was doing, like, I spent most of the money I had saved for the trail trying to help people stay on. So I was bringing people resupply. And I remember getting death threats.
Really?
From Facebook, because how dare you be spreading this virus, and I'm like, okay, I went to Walmart today and there was 500 people,
So many people, yeah.
and I went to the trail and dropped off stuff and sat in my car while these people went and picked it up, and then they'd send me a text thanking me. And it's like, I didn't touch them, I didn't see them, but I was just trying to help.
Right.
And so it was crazy, like, the people that I thought were always going to be about the hiker to do something like that. Like, it was, you know, did you have any experiences like that? Or?
Yeah, Hot Springs, we got harassed by some locals and the postal guy, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, his was a little too. His was pretty bad, but I mean, it's amazing. Like most of the people that I think, because we, you know, you kind of stand off a little bit because you're not trying to be like we have been social distancing ourselves. Like we've been living in our own tent. We've been, you know, not sharing food, not doing those things. So like we're not trying to cause problems or do anything. We're just trying to get in town, get the things we need to survive, and move on so we can accomplish this journey. And you know, we're not wanting any grief, but sometimes it just they don't understand where we're coming from, and sometimes they're fine. You know, they'll just say, "Can I ask why you're still doing this? Like, why haven't you gotten off like everybody else and the ATC has asked you guys to?" And like I said, like this is a personal journey. So for me, this is probably the only year that I'm going to be able to do this. So I'm.
And you deserve to.
Yeah,
if
and
you've spent the time and the energy and all the money you put aside to do it, you deserve to. And I don't think anyone has that right to take it away from anyone.
No, they don't. And so I am adamant about that. I felt like and my parents, everybody agree with me that I am safer out here doing this than going back to where, you know, there's people who are contaminating and, you know, people are being confined to their homes and stuff. I mean, I actually have not heard a single case of anyone that's been on the trail who has gotten COVID. No, everybody's off trail, going to the towns, going to Walmart, going to wherever that have gotten it. I have not heard a case of anybody that's walking the trail. And you would know in a minute. Yeah, for sure.
Because you wouldn't be able to breathe going up one of these mountains if you had it, period, you know. So, you know, it's a tough year, but... So.
Yeah, it is a tough year. But we're a tough class, so... Yeah, I'm excited. Kind of bummed we missed trail days, like some of the things that, you know, I've always heard about it.
We can go next year.
Yeah, exactly.
As the toughest class, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Like, trail days is going to start again, and it doesn't matter what anyone ever thinks about the craziness. Like, oh, wait, you're not the toughest class because you shouldn't have been out there or whatever. You know what? It was my journey.
Yes.
I lived it. You didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what people need to understand. Also, I'm so tired this year more than anything because in all the years I've been hiking, hikers have always backed hikers. So I was really crushed when certain hikers turned their backs. And I'm sure you were too.
Yeah.
Like, we should have all stood together. Like, this is a huge community, and it's all been about peace and love and helping each other and growing.
Each other.
And So I can't even imagine, like, this is your first long trail?